So do you remember how I made that video about how the New Age Mustangs are disappearing? That video somewhat went viral, had around 100,000 views on it, and a lot of people agreed with me. Now here's an example of what I'm talking about. It's a 2003 Mustang Mach 1. It's a black Mach 1, and you can tell that it has some front end damage. Now this is a video that some Mustang enthusiasts have posted up where they're taking this Mach 1 that was wrecked and they're going to swap the drivetrain and everything into a Fox body. I can respect people working on their own cars. I do it. You know, these guys remind me a lot about me, on their backs upside down underneath the car doing everything without a lift. I've done that several times. But watching this video does hurt to watch a nice Mach 1 getting stripped down for its parts. The front end damage is a difficult thing because sometimes the car won't ever drive straight again once it's been wrecked in the front. So if it's that bad, I can understand why they would do that. This one doesn't look like it's too bad though. I've seen cars that have been in worse condition that have been repaired, so it's actually pretty unfortunate to see a Mach 1 like this getting parted out. So here they are positioning it, moving it around in their yard so they can get it next to this Fox body that they're going to swap all the stuff into. The shaker hood's still there, the shaker. The car does look like it's still in pretty good shape. You know, the body does seem pretty straight, has a bullet fuel door and things. There's the Mach 1 engine. Looks like it's pretty stock, no cold air intake or anything. That front end damage there is pretty bad. You can see it though, and that radiator support smashed pretty good, but they're walking around the car joking, talking about how it's the wrong body style for them and they don't care about it, which I disagree with. I think this is a more beautiful car than a Fox body. The car they're swapping this all into is pretty hammered and pretty trashed. It's been sitting for a long time. It's just full of junk, no dash, anything in it. And the body isn't even good. It's all rusted out. There's Bondo all over the roof. It's been sitting like that and it's just trash. And if it were me, I would fix this car, not the Fox body, but I understand people have their own preferences and I can respect that as well. But there's the Mach 1 badge on the deck lid and the C-pillars and glass you can see in the pictures. Here's some interior shots. The truth is, this Mach 1 is better than that Fox body in every single way. I mean, the paint's better, the interior's better, the drivetrain's better, the body's better. I understand if you like a Fox and that's what you're into. I'm not going to argue with that, but I just don't see why anybody would do this. Here's an example of what could have been done with this car. This guy on Instagram at turbo_woogie, WOOGY, he took the front end off of this Mustang and welded a tubular one on there, and he does racing. It's a turbo Coyote car. I think this is really awesome. You know, my hat's off to this guy for doing this to this car, and there are other people I know who have done the same thing. Another example of this is another competition orange Mustang GT like that other one I was just showing you. This car is a Coyote big turbo car, and I've watched this car progress from being a bolt-on GT to a Kenny Bell 2-valve and then into a Coyote supercharged, and then now turbo Coyote. And the owner of this car did a lot of racing with it, and throughout the years he modified it until it was to this point, and then he ended up selling the car. And unfortunately the new owner happened to have wrecked the car at the drag strip. So what they did was decide to go ahead and cut the whole front end off of this car, get it all straight again. And you can see that this is a lot worse than that black Mach 1 was. But anyway, they went ahead and cut the whole front end on, got it straight, and then they welded in a new front end on the car, and it's all black in this picture, and new bumpers and fenders and everything, but it's all back together. And I know that this car had a lot of money into it, so maybe they thought that's why it was worth saving, but still, it's back together, and look how good it looks now. You can see here it's an interior upgrade package Mach 1, which most of them were, but there's those very sought-after headrests and the silver trim around the radio. Yeah, the seats are a little bit torn up. That's to be expected. I'm sure it was a higher mileage car, but it still looked like it was in pretty good shape. The back seats look pretty good. And here they're dropping the whole axle, gas tank, fuel lines. Of course, this is a great car to have for a swap if you're going to need all those parts, because you buy the car wrecked like that and you get all these good parts. But man, that sure was a nice car. It's really too bad to see it like that. especially this picture where you can see that awesome dual exhaust and the 8.8 axle, the tail lights, everything that's cool in that picture. And for me, what's really hard is if you look at those side stripes, those Mach 1 specific side stripes, and you know that they're taking something that was very rare and special and they're taking the parts off of it for something else. Well, that's, you know, a decision that they can make, and it's up to them to do, but it is hard. That car will probably be sold as a shell later, and then somebody will have to go back and acquire or reacquire all those parts. Maybe somebody would buy it and put a Coyote in it, cut the front end off, and redo it, weld the new front end on it, and Coyote swap it. That's what I would hope happens to this car. And because it is a Mach 1, I think it will have a chance of survival. But a lot of guys will strip them down until there's nothing left and get them crushed. And that's just the sad truth and reality of what's going on here. But these cars are disappearing, and that's a really cool special car, so it's too bad to see that happening to it. So they went ahead and continued to pull it all apart, and they got the engine all taken out of it. And this is good hard work. I don't have anything against them, and they're reusing a lot of good parts here. It is hard to see all these good parts leaving a Mach 1 though. I think it'd be better if they would have just got a black V6 and transferred everything over to it, but you know, that's their choice. But they stripped it all down, got all the parts out of it. Now it's basically just a shell. And at this point, I don't think there's much hope for the car. The shaker hood will probably be, I think they said they're going to try to use it on their Fox body and stuff. So other than that, all the other parts are basically being reused, and that's a good thing. But it's too bad to see a Mach 1 like this get destroyed from an accident in the first place and then not fixed and put back together. So they got the car running. They had a lot of problems with the brakes, getting them to work right and everything. Don't really know what happened to the Mach 1, so we'll find out maybe one day. They probably just got rid of it once they were done getting everything out of it. But after looking at all this and thinking about it, I was really coming to the conclusion that that is a lot of work for 300 horsepower. I don't think they really gained much compared to what they lost by getting rid of a Mach 1 and all this, but that's my opinion. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about all this, and stay tuned for more of these Mustang stories.